Week 1, and it's time for our NFL Week 1 Fanduel first look, where we're going to take a look at Fanduel pricing, salaries, and the whole gambit, and get ready for NFL Week 1. Can you guys believe a whole year has passed? We are back, and it is time. We've spent the offseason drafting best ball teams, coming up with our rankings, doing projections, all of that stuff, getting prepared, back testing. And now we're finally here, and we are ready for Week 1. There are values galore, guys, this week on FanDuel. So I'm excited to kind of go through all of that with you guys. But the first thing I want to talk about on FanDuel for NFL Week 1 is this amazing no sweat Sunday Million contest they put together. I am not sponsored by FanDuel, or I don't have any reason to promote a contest of theirs right now. Not that that would matter, but the no sweat Millie Maker. All right, let's take it back to last year. Last year, FanDuel rolled out a series of contests pretty much from week 1. I'm going to say through about week 8 that were promotional. They were either there was no VIG, or they were adding extra overlay. They were doing things to make the contest very desirable to enter. And I was like, okay, I'll enter it. Thank you, FanDuel. These companies are scumbags, and when they give you something, you should take it. That's only if you want to have money in your account, if you want to be a winning player. Not everybody does. If you don't, ignore what I'm about to say. But FanDuel this year for week 1, and who knows what they'll roll out after, maybe nothing after week 1. But this year in week 1, it is the best promotion for any contest I have ever seen. And if you don't max this contest out, I don't want to say that you're probably a donkey, but wait till I describe what it is, and then you make your own decision. So this no sweat Sunday Million on FanDuel, the way this contest works, all entries that do not cash in this featured contest will be fully refunded in the form of DFS only side credits. Entries made and with a voucher will not count. So if I already have reserved my 150 entries, 50 of them place in the money, and I get off of that 50, let's say it cost me $750 to max that contest. 100 of them do not hit the cash line. 50 of them do, and I make back, I don't know, 600 of the 7 that I spent. Wow, wasn't that great? Oh, you lost money. You suck, Geek. Right? Well, FanDuel then is going to go ahead and credit me back $500 additional dollars for every single entry that did not cash. I will get a $5 credit back on my FanDuel account. So every entry that cashes, I get paid. Every entry that doesn't cash, they give me my money back. There's never been any deal that good in anything on any sort of DFS site. This is the best I've ever seen. And of course, I maxed it out the second I wrote to their customer service, double checked that that is true. And I'm highly and strongly recommending that you all do the same. Max this contest out. Now, the one caveat that I read was that the money is returned to you in the form of site credit, which you have to spend within 7 days. So if I get $500 back, no worries. I will roll that $500 into next week's contest. Now, some of you are like, hey, my wife's not going to let me make a $750 deposit. The other thing, listen, that's on you. That got nothing to do with me. I'm just telling you that's free money. You will get your money back. You cannot lose in week 1 by maxing this contest. Of course, if you stink and you get the full $750 back, and then you have to roll the full $750 next week and you lose 30%, you could be down. There are versions of the way this plays out where you're not ahead after 2 weeks, but you got to kind of be really bad to end up in that scenario. So there's also a version of this where those top 50, you make back more than your original 700, plus you get the $500 credit. Why isn't that on the table? That's what I'm saying. Amazing promotion here. It's specifically the No Sweat Sunday Million. There's another promotional contest in there, but it's the $250 entry one, and you only get like $25 back or some smaller amount for entries that don't cash. It's not anything near as good as this one. So strongly recommend maxing out the No Sweat Sunday Million. Hopefully you see this before that contest is filled up. Now, guys, you know what's exciting? When the Domination Station is loaded up here at DFS Army, of course, is loaded up for NFL Week 1. So we're going to load this up, and I'm going to show you a couple little tricks. First, the game tiles on screen here. We're going to go through that real quick and kind of talk about what signs this is giving us in terms of teams and players to target. And then I'm going to show you how to quickly sort the Domination Station by value to find the top value plays without having to like go through it all. We will still go through it all, but I'm just going to show you real quick. I'm going to do very brief on these matchups because I already covered this in depth in the DraftKings first look video. And I really want you to have to listen to it again if you guys don't want to. So the basics here, really good matchup here. Bucks at the Falcons, 47.5-point total, super close game. Bucks favored, definitely looking at stacking Bucks. And this is a game stack possibility for this one, just how close and high scoring it is relative to everything else. We got the Steelers at the Jets week 1. Weirdly, the Jets are underdogs. Super low total. I think Jets should be favored there at home, and I like Jets defense in that game against Aaron Rodgers. Raiders at the Patriots, 42.5-pointer, low total game. I think I have a little sneaky upside potential in this one, even though the odds makers set it pretty low. I actually think the Raiders are going to be better than advertised this year, and I think the Patriots will be better than advertised. So I think both of these teams are a little better than what they're being given credit for here. I think that will correct. Betting, I like overs in this one, but as far as the game goes, I don't mind using some of these pieces in DFS. Dolphins at the Colts. Another interesting one with the Colts being favored, rolling out Danny Dimes at quarterback. The Dolphins have some injuries. Normally, I'd be loading up on Devon Achane here, but he's injured. I'm about it. It's too soon. It's still 9 days ahead of ahead day or ahead of this slate, so to speak. We're about a week out from kickoff night, but Achane looking a little sketchy, so we'll have to see what we do there. And I like Daniel Jones as a DFS play in tournaments. Cardinals at the Saints, another low total game. Cardinals team total's pretty good. Cardinals defense going to be interesting here, and maybe Cardinals running back with Connor. Here we have the Giants at the Commanders. This is much more interesting on the Commander side, although the Giants are going to be interesting all year just because everything runs through Malik Neighbors. So he'd be interesting to me. I think the Commanders team in general here with that 25-point total is interesting as well. We've got the Panthers at the Jaguars. And the new look Jaguars offense with Liam Cohen as the head coach, brought over from the Bucks. We remember what the Bucks have been doing on offense the last couple of years. Jaguars trying to copy that. Can't blame them. Bucks offense has been great. They are missing an elite quarterback, maybe. We'll see. What's the story with Trevor Lawrence? I don't know. I think he might suck, but I'm not sure, right? 24.75-point total. Lots of pieces in this game are going to be of interest. On the Panthers side, of course, you got Coker being named the starting slot man. Pet McMillan, the rookie, super cheap. So plenty of options in a game like this. Then, of course, one of the better games of the week, the Bengals at the Browns. Bengals bringing a 26.75-point team total to the mix, 47.5-point game total on this one. Joe Flacco, a.k.a. Joe Cool, a.k.a. Joe the Gunslinger, out there for the Browns in that game, making it potentially more competitive. I was not going to be excited about this game if, they rolled out one of these rookies, but with Joe Flacco back there, they can make a game of it. And certainly in back testing last season, it was apparent that the Bengals are not a team to be ignored. Even in a blowout scenario, they can produce, they can be the nuts regardless. This game is interesting. 49ers at the Seahawks, not because of this low game total, 44.5, or these, 24-point team totals, which the Shark Lab tells us are generally bad. But what's interesting about this game is San Francisco got a lot of injuries going on. And really, when San Francisco, already a concentrated offense, gets some injuries, they become even more concentrated. Or we might pluck a rando for like Stone Min that could be okay. But weirdly, the non-rando WR1 in this game is Stone Min's salary already on Fanduel. They didn't price it right. They made mistakes. Pearsall, McCaffrey, George Kittle. The whole offense is going to run through those three. And the 49ers tend to be good. They got a 24-point team total, 3 touchdowns and a field goal. I'll take that all day. The Seattle side, also mildly interesting with Jackson Smith and Jigba and crew. Moving on, we've got the Titans at the Broncos. Rookie quarterback on the road at the Broncos. That is a very tough ask. Avoid all things to do with the Titans, including Tony Pollard, who is kind of like a sexy, sneaky pick. Oh, he's cheap this week. He's getting the starting nod. I like a starting running back for cheap, but I would say this spot is a little bit sketchy. Broncos defense might be the best defense in the league this year, so I'm going to be avoiding that and playing Broncos defense in this one. Highest total of the week, we got the Lions at the Packers. That one carries a 49-point total. Obviously, the Lions' offense is crazy good. Weapons everywhere. Can't stop them. They're all over the place. Can't even really figure out which is the target. Oh, you want Laporta? You want Jamo Williams? You want Isaac Tesla? Amon-Ra? 2 running backs all getting touches. Way too many players on the Lions to narrow it down. And of course, with the Packers, it's kind of the same deal. They're the shit out of Josh Jacobs in this in every game. So that part is good. They got the rookie Matthew Golden out there at wide receiver. Jaden Reed is banged up. We'll see what happens with him. Who knows what else is going on there for the Packers. I think it's more of a team stack. This is really a game stack situation for me, where I'm almost going to close my eyes and force random stacks in there, even though none of them will project well. But that's an interesting GPP game, and it's probably one of the few kind of game stackable spots, heavy game stackable spots on the slate. And we close with the Texans at the Rams. The Rams are 23 and are 3-point favorites in this one. 23 and a team total. Nothing sexy about this game. 44-point game total. Here's what's sexy about the game. Poop, Devontae, Kyron, that whole trio is always going to be sexy every game. And Nico Collins, also awesome, even though the game itself doesn't stand out. So those players are perfectly good plays. Now, let me show you the little cheat with the Dom stage before we go player by player. Even this early in the offseason, even this early before, all the projections are truly out, some of them are floating in, some prop projections starting to float in, but for the most part, we don't have all the projections honed in yet. But even with that, if you just go to a position group and sort by fantasy points per dollar here on the domination station, it's going to quickly pop up what are kind of the early week top values. Trevion Henderson at 4,700. Under Stoneman. Stoneman on FanDuel is kind of $5K for me. I think it's basically free. Ashton Jeanty priced down 6,400 for his rookie debut. CMC at 8,100 is still considered a bargain. Kyron Williams at 7K, also a bargain. So we got a lot of good spots to target here. If I jump over to wide receiver, oh man, the value is even better. This is actually extreme. Emeka Egbuka, who we all love week 1, 5K. Ricky Pearsall, stud, week 1, 5,300. You can do whatever you want here. Travis Hunter, 5,700. Tet McMillan, also a stud, 5,600. With those values and some of these values at running back, we're going to be able to build lineups however we want on FanDuel. The value is crazy. It's too much. They overdid it. Jalen Waddle, 5,500. Excuse me. Drake London, 7K. That's also free. Very good values week 1 to target here. So with that being said, and without further ado, let's jump over to FanDuel and take a look at the NFL week 1 salaries, and we'll construct sort of an all value lineup to start, and then we'll build off of that and try to create our first look lineup here. Guys, reminder, we are having our biggest promotion of the year, NFL week 1. This is live right now, so you want to grab it before kickoff. It will stop at kickoff. 20% off special for DFS Army VIP, for DFS Army weekly, monthly VIP, our all package program, 20% off using promo code kickoff 2025. Scrolling below, link in the description. Check it out. Get signed up. If just to attack the Sunday Million, you're going to need the Dom Station for this. Got to roll out 150 lineups. Need the Dom Station. It will help. We will crush this. I really want to see a DFS Army avatar in first place, taking that million down. We need to get back in the million week 1. We did it, I think, seasons ago, 2023, week 1, $1 million winner. Let's do it again, $1 million winner, 2025. Helmets up. All right, let's go position by position. We'll start at quarterback. We'll kind of talk about all of these spots and how we want to attack them. First of all, just noteworthy that, again, with all the salary savings available at wide receiver in the other position groups, it's just we could play whoever we want. There's very little restriction this week on how to put the lineup together and who to put in charge of our lineup, so to speak. And the pricing on the QBs is really cheap. Jaden Daniels, top price guy. Sure, great. Average 22 and a quarter fantasy points per game last year. He's up against the Giants. They're not very good defensively. There's no reason why Jaden won't have another big game. The Commanders got rid of their kind of like running non-pass catcher guys. And so even better. If I'm using Jaden in a lineup, I'm probably looking to stack him with just one player from his team. He's not a double stack quarterback for me. And the candidates are obviously McLaurin And then following McLaurin, Zach Ertz was one of the top sort of playmakers for the team. And this year they've added Deebo Samuel. So that's the group that I'd be looking maybe to just mix in one of them in a Jaden Daniels stack if possible. Next up, we got Joe Burrow, the classic stack with two quarterback. I like the spot. Even on the road at Cleveland, I don't mind it. Yes, Cleveland has played pretty well against the Bengals. Who cares? Throw that out. It's a new year. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life. And I'm playing Burrow. Burrow double stacks. Again, very obvious. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. It probably needs to, even Chase Brown, though. You can include the running back in any kind of stack with Burrow. So Chase Brown in that mix as well. I don't mind pieces that are bringbacks from Cleveland either, especially, or maybe even Charles or Cedric Peanut Tillman. Why not? Why not? Game stackable, sure. Team stack, double stacks with Burrow, high total, everything about it. He's definitely somebody I will have shares of this week. Baker Mayfield, another one. I love this game at Atlanta. I think I like that Mayfield is the road favored quarterback. That's sort of a nice thing to target. Usually road favored quarterbacks, here's what happens. Talk to Shark Lab about this on Tournament Tactics, the week 0 edition, where the question, what's good about a road favored quarterback is sometimes the home team has a higher chance of making a game of it if they're a slight underdog, making a game of it, which forces the road favored quarterback to throw more than he might if kind of cruising his way to a win at home. So with Baker Mayfield, we've got Emeka Egbuka, who's super cheap, and Mike Evans. We just combo those two, and it's a beautiful start to any lineup. But here's where it gets better. You get it cheap. He's basically free. They forgot to put a charge on him. We grab Mike Evans, week 1, healthiest. And then since we've got Atlanta here, we can bring it back with London. That's a really beautiful start. We can offer Bijan for the bring back, or even both with all the value on the board this week. So how about that for a nice little start to a Mayfield stack? I wouldn't probably include Bijan and London. I would choose one or the other, right? Probably not both. Baker double stack right there. Beauty. I'm actually going to leave Egbuka here because actually, no, we'll go through it. We'll go through it one by one, but so can play, and somebody I will be building heavily around. Another quarterback I shall be building around this week a little bit is Jared Goff. People think of Jared Goff as sort of a dud, and yes, he does dud up a lot, right? But he doesn't do that because his team stinks. He does it because the running backs frequently take so many of the touchdowns that he just doesn't need to do that much. But even with all of that, he had a beautiful 19 fantasy points per game average last season. And the way it worked out, take a look at the logs. For him, or nothing. 15, 11, 16, 10, these 12, 9, horrible games. You lost your week in fantasy because of this guy. 12, 13, the worst. But when he does pop, he doesn't normally pop for a 22. No, he's popping for a 26, a 28, a 37. There's a 44 in there. I don't know why. Sorry, I keep scrolling away. I'm trying not to do that, but it's happening. There's a 44, a 28, a 28. So when he pops, this is the perfect and quarterback. Every once in a while, because they're the Lions and they're an insane high-scoring team, every once in a while, Jared Goff just goes crazy for a monster score. But they're also a team that will sit back and lean the run when they can. So the results are going to be all over the place. It's not a really good thing for cash games. He's somebody you want to consider in GPPs most weeks. And if I'm playing him, sure, I'm just going to close my eyes in tournaments like this one and stack him with 2, including Gibbs. I'll allow Gibbs to be part of those stacks, but I'm going to stack him with 2. Could be Gibbs and, of course, Laporta, Amon-Ra, J-Mo, all in the mix. Kyler Murray, not that exciting of a play. Week 1, I really don't think New Orleans is going to be that competitive, but, he's Kyler Murray, so fine, right? Jordan Love, very bad last year. Really almost not even playable most weeks. Had a couple of pops, but for the most part of last season, Jordan Love was like an unplayable guy. So, I guess tournament only. I do like that specific game environment. If there's ever going to be a game that pops, it's this one. So I'll probably have a little Jolo, but I don't feel good about it. I definitely don't feel good about it in any sort of right. So moving on, Sam Darnold. I think the price is wrong for Sam Darnold here at 7,500. So I'm probably going to stay away, but he's an easy stack with JSN if you want to use him. Bo Nix, again, non-competitive matchup here against Tennessee. I think Denver defense gets it done. I don't know that there's enough need to score to force Bo Nix to kind of do what we need him to do to be relevant. But, noteworthy that he had some monster games last year. But again, a lot of those games came in competitive environments where he was somewhat needed. So I don't know about this week for Nix. He probably won't make my cheat sheet. Tua, also, maybe not a quarterback that I'm going to be playing very in DFS. The concussion risk in game is massive, but more so, he just rarely puts up a big enough number to hurt us if we faded him. Yeah, there's a 31 from last year and a 26. So he definitely did it a few times, but more often than not, he's just not putting up a number that is going to hurt us if we faded him. Stroud kind of similar to Jordan Love from last year. He was absolutely putrid last season from a fantasy production standpoint. But at the same time, CJ Stroud was great in his first year, putting up big numbers. Does not run the football at all. Very, very little. I mean, he runs a little bit, but it's not a part of his game. You see a lot of games where it's just nothing or just 3 or 4 rushes. Every once in a while, a random pop game, but any quarterback does stuff like that. So, you got to prove it to me, CJ, before I'm ready to trust you again. And on the road at the Rams, probably not that spot. Justin Fields is actually playable to me in this matchup. I don't like it. I don't love it, but Fields at home, he's a running quarterback. Yeah, it's the Steelers. Yeah, they're really good. And yeah, I think the Jets dominate this game with their defense, actually. But I think it's kind of worth I don't know what it's worth. It's worth a raised eyebrow, maybe a pulled down eye thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I'm kind of like looking at it and I'm kind of interested. Maybe a silly for the Millie spot right there on Jay Fiddlesticks. Ward is a no. Stafford is not somebody I'm generally going to play in DFS. Trevor Lawrence, he'll burn your food like Florence. He'll run up in your crib like your name is search warrants. T-Law, Liam Cohen offense. I don't mind it. I don't mind the spot at all. Taking a shot in big tournaments on T-Law. You know how to stack him up. You got Brian Thomas Jr., BTJ. You got potentially Hunter to mix in there. And on the Panthers, it's not that hard to find the bringbacks either. One cool thing about the Jaguars is they're clearly not like looking to lean heavy on the running back. I don't even know who the starting running back is on that team. ETN, Bigsby, there's Special Tootin. I don't know who the heck it is. But what I do know is they're going to throw it to Brian Thomas. They're probably also going to throw it to Hunter. So double stack, T-Law, BTJ Hunter, or you mix in a little Brenton Strange, a little bit of this. Trevor plus 2 stacks. NFL week 1. I'm about it. If I'm building a team stack like this, I'm back with Ted McMillan, who is absurdly underpriced, even as a rookie, even in his first game. The problem is there's so much value, I don't even know where to get it. Oh, if I play Ted McMillan, where am I using Igbuga? Where's Pearsall in this lineup? Pearsall has to be in every lineup. How do you not play Pearsall? Right? Got to put him in there. So I don't know if I'm going to force double stacks now that I think about it. There's so much value. I might not do that. I might not work on Fanduel this week. Fanduel, too much value. Probably only going to do single stacks. I do something more like that. Single stack. T-Law. Who knew? Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence really only has this year. There's no more excuses for him. Either the coaching was bad, scheme was bad on the Jaguars for the last 4 or 5 years. He also gets hurt a lot. He looks good at times, but he's looked bad a lot more than he's looked good. Again, scheme, I don't know. But to me, this is his last hurrah. If Trevor Lawrence doesn't get his shit right, I don't think he's going to get that many more chances to sort of be looked at as a franchise quarterback. I think we're starting to think, hey, maybe this guy sucks. So it's his time. It's his year. Step up, Trevor Lawrence. All right, continuing on, we got Geno Smith and the Raiders at New England. Not a sexy spot for me, but I am interested in Danny Dimes at home against Miami. I know. I get sucked in with douche Dimes all the time. This is not my first rodeo. I'm not even sure who to stack him with. Josh Downs. Adonai Mitchell's been lighting it up in camp. Tyler Warren seems like the best possible stack, but for some reason, I have some weirdly mild interest in Daniel Jones. Yeah, Jones to Warren, really cheap starting stack, that's for sure. I don't know which wide receiver. I think that's enough with this to start. Maybe you mix in a player from Miami if Achane plays, or like a Tyreek Hill or something like that. Make a little skinny stack from that game. I don't mind it. So yeah, Danny Jones, my mix this week for sure. I think he's probably the cheapest viable quarterback. Let's see if there's anybody beneath it. Oh yeah, well, Brock Purdy, 6,900, same price. So I could do that as well. Michael Penix down here. Drake May, 6,600. Actually, talk about cheapest viable. It's going to be Drake May down there at 6,600. I don't mind that either. Again, Drake May is not the easiest quarterback to figure out who to stack, but I think for week one, we just kind of go chalk with Diggs. We could also consider Derrick Henry or Hunter Henry, the tight end. A lot of ways to build Drake May lineups. And Drake May, unlike some of these other quarterbacks we were talking about, is very somewhat aggressive with the running. You know, he's averaging probably 35, 40 rushing yards per game coming off last year. So, so many good spots to target at quarterback for week one. But I think they're probably going to be Burrow, Mayfield, a little Goff in tournaments, Jolo in tournaments. And then down here, a little T-Law and Danny Jones, and maybe some Brock Purdy in the mix as well. I think Brock Purdy is very easy to stack up this week. So another name I might throw in that mix. All right, moving on and taking a look at the running back position for NFL Week 1 here on FanDuel. There are some incredible bargains. FanDuel does this. They do this, especially with the rookies. They give you a chance to roll on players you have not seen with your eyes yet. So we're going to get into that. But of course, Bijan, 8,800. I think he's worth it. He's that good. That being said, he is an underdog running back, so keep that in mind. Next up, we've got Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm probably a little more concerned about him compared to like a Bijan or even some of the ones that are cheaper here, mostly because Jahmyr Gibbs is kind of priced as if Montgomery isn't there and he is there. So I'm not really sure at this point what the usage is going to look like for these two guys. But, you know, if it goes back to how it was at the beginning of last season, I think it's going to be tough for Gibbs to pay off the giant ceiling that he would need to pay off this price, 19, 27. We're talking about like 30 DraftKings FanDuel points, 30 FanDuel points-ish range in order to be relevant. I think that's asking a lot. I think like Bijan has got a better shot of getting that than Jahmyr Gibbs does. Jahmyr is awesome as well, but you know, my concern for him is we don't know what the volume is going to be. He might not see more than 18 opportunities where, you know, some of these other names up here might see 25 to 27. Moving on, Jonathan Taylor, absolutely the playoff sort of superstar for your fantasy football leagues last year, helped you. It is noteworthy. I just want to point some stuff out in his game logs. Taylor does not really catch a ton of targets. He's on the low side, usually 2 or 3 targets per game is all you could look for. I think it's actually better for him with Danny Dimes there. Danny Dimes a little more likely maybe to check down to a running back than let's say Anthony Richardson or whatever the hell all the trash was helming this team last year. Does have some monster games, and they will feed him extreme volume when given the chance. So never really should ignore Jonathan Taylor on a slate. And, you know, he's a guy who could break it. Next up, we got Von Achane, got the calf injury. We'll see if he plays week 1. If he does play, I'm interested in him. But again, you know, if he's going to be priced above Christian McCaffrey, I'll probably just CMC. So the next name that I really like a lot here is Christian McCaffrey. San Francisco, we know they're missing a lot of pieces. They're going to have to throw to CM Sizzles. It's not just rushes, throws, everything. And they're facing an opponent in the Seahawks that aren't very good. So defensively. So overall, I like McCaffrey here. I always like players from the 49ers when that offense gets condensed, and there's a lot of injury condensing this offense right now. And I think CMC at 8,100 is actually underpriced. Like raw projection, I don't know that anybody here is better than Christian McCaffrey, even Bijan. Josh Jacobs, also part of this really great game. He's a home running back, fine tournament mix for sure. Bucky Irving, another awesome running back. It's a little cheaper, tournament mix. Good player, nothing not to like there. All of these are really good spots. James Conner as well, 7,500 as a heavy favorite against New Orleans. You know, we're going to figure out after week 1 a little bit if all of the rumors about them mixing Trey Benson in with the Conner 1A, 1B, we'll see how that goes. My expectation is Conner's just going to come out and be the workhorse again. And Connor sneaky puts up monster scores every once in a while, and people just like don't remember it. 27, 31, 20. This guy had a nice little towards the end of last season. Weirdly, he has these intense dud games too. like a 3, a 20, a 4, some duds, a 7, a 9. I mean, he's all over the place, more so than other guys. Kyron Williams, also as a favorite, sure, why not on FanDuel? Touchdowns are king. He's going to get the ball at the goal line. He's going to get those red zone carries. So I don't mind Kyron here at 7,300. No, it's a no for me, dog. Definitely a no. And I'm a double no on FanDuel, where it's really about touchdowns. Like, I can understand, I can see him getting there, I guess, with a bunch of targets or whatever. And he's going to be probably a popular pick. My guess will be that when all of the content starts coming out for week 1, they're going to love Kamara. Probably, maybe, I don't know. But I'm not into it week 1. I think there are better spots. I don't like players on bad teams with Rattler as quarterback. Yes, he can break one, but I just think there are better plays. So I'm going to ask the Bishop what to do here. Hell no. Breece Hall, similar situation. I am not down with the Breece for week 1. I do like the Jets to kind of shock the world and win this game as underdogs. But from what I've seen in the preseason, it does not look solidified that Breece Hall will be the guy getting the football at the goal line or in touchdown range. That's enough for me here on FanDuel to say no mas. I'll just take touchdown scores instead. Thank you very much. If he burns me, he burns me. So he'll be an avoid for me in NFL week 1. And to use Chase Brown, who is the workhorse back for a Bengals team that has a massive team total. Chase Brown was amazing to end the season. His role hasn't changed. 24, 21, 20, 20, 27. They went on an amazing run last year, 6,900. Let's see, 6, 12, 7, 14, 21. So we're looking for about a 21 on FanDuel off of this salary. And I think that's well within striking distance and even surpassing that numbers. We saw him do a few times last year, but 21 is kind of like where he normally is. So I like Chase Brown week 1 for 6,900, but wait, it gets better. We're not done. We're looking for value plays, right? I said it. Bijan and Christian McCaffrey are values, but there are better values, right? So continuing on, we got Kenny Walker, 6,700. I don't know. Mild interest there, I guess. He's another player that I'm waiting to find out what kind of split he's going to have with his very, very good backfield mate, Zach Charbonnet. So we don't know week 1. It's mysterious, and therefore I tend to stay away. Chuba has a new backfield mate, Rico Dowdle, but by all measure, it looks like it's going to be Hubbard's prime with Rico backing him up this year, which is great. I don't mind Chuba in this spot for 6,500. He was so good last season. Very consistent, plenty of volume, targets as well. He's an all-purpose back. There's nothing he doesn't do. I don't know that he's like the most talented running back that has ever graced the NFL, but he seems fine. And he's put up decent numbers last year, averaging almost 16 fantasy points per game. We're looking for around 20 points out of him, and I think he can get there. But you know who else could really get there? Ashton Jeanty, same deal. 6,400, just underpriced. Ashton Jeanty is going to have the full workload for the Raiders. Yes, they're on the road. Yes, it's a low total game. There are some issues there, but low total probably keeps him in the game the whole time. That's one. And number 2, I just think the total is wrong on that one. I think that game has a little bit of potential. I think the Raiders are a much, much better team with Geno Smith at the helm than they were with Gardner Minshew, O'Connell, or whatever garbage they were rolling out last year in Las Vegas. So I don't mind it. I'll take a shot at Ashton 6,400. Why not? Still going though. David Montgomery 6,200. Maybe a better play than Jahmyr Gibbs. Want to pay all the way up for Jahmyr Gibbs 8,800. That's the Bijan price. Or we can get sort of Gibbs light here in Montgomery, who's healthy and going to be splitting touches and going to be getting plenty of goal line carries and the possible 2 touchdown guy every single week. Sure, he will be in my tourney mix. Etienne's a no for me. Pollard is a no in that matchup. Tyrone Tracy, a starting running back for the Giants. Again, don't love the matchup. Not a great spot, but if I can get a starting running back on any team that should workhorse it for sub 6K, I'm going to have some mild interest. He does represent value. Scrolling down, what other names here? There's a couple other names they're going to just pay attention to. One that's so cheap, I think people won't play him because he's buried all the way down here. Now, I talked earlier about some players who we don't know what their carry share will be. Yeah, but we're not sure. Chuba Hubbard, will things get cut in for him? Jahmyr Gibbs, how much Gibbs versus Montgomery are we going to see? There are all those mysterious situations. James Conner, how much Trey Benson are they going to work in? But with Trevion Henderson, same idea. How much Ramondre now is going to be worked in here? Because Trevion lit it up in the preseason. Lit it up. He looks really good. He was priced here on FanDuel before all of that. Now, Ramondre Stevenson is still there. And it's not even clear who's going to be the official starter for this game. And I generally on FanDuel, I don't even think we don't need the value so much that we got to pay down over here. But at $5K versus a $6,500 player on FanDuel, we really only need about a 15 to sort of quote unquote make value for the position group. And if we start to surpass that, so a 20 from Trevion Henderson is worth a lot more than a 20 from Josh Jacobs at 7,800. When you get a 5K player giving you 20, that's leverage on the field. The other thing I'm going to tell you, ownerships are not out yet. We haven't run ownership projections at all. Still more than, 7 days away from the slate as I sit here. But I will tell you from personal experience and knowledge, he's not going to be high owned. You might think he would be because he's so cheap. He won't be. Players on FanDuel do not like to roster anyone under 5K. They just think they must suck if they're that cheap, and they tend to not want to use them. So I'm interested in Trevion Henderson. I think he represents one of the biggest values of week one. Again, there's question marks as far as how many opportunities he'll get in this game, and I don't have those answers, but he's definitely going to get some. And my guess is he will be the running back on the Patriots the most opportunities. Does that mean workhorse, though? Probably not. So we'll see. Moving on to the running back position. Let's start at the top here. We already identified some extreme values like Igbuka, Pearsall. Those are going to be staples in lineups for this week. But let's talk through the whole position group and kind of see what we can put together here and just get a feel for the position in general. Obviously, at the very top, we've got Jamar Chase, best wide receiver in football. You're paying almost $1,000 more than the next best guy for him. But he's probably worth it. By the way, much value, we can afford it. So why not? Jamar Chase, good spot. Nothing wrong with that. Amon-Ra, same deal. Good spot. Nothing wrong with that. At the Packers, high scoring total game. Puka was a beast pretty much every game that he started with Stafford last season. Obviously, Devontae Adams wasn't there yet, but Cooper Kupp was, and it didn't matter. This guy was a stud whenever he was out there and healthy for the most part. So there's no reason to get away from that. Puka is just always somebody that you want to be targeting, and this is a particularly good spot for him. So, yeah, I like Puka there. Puka, over the course of a season, I'm worried about his injury history. I'm worried about Stafford. But on a one-game sample, I don't care about any of that. I'm in. Nico Collins, also good. Malik Neighbors, good. Brian Thomas Jr., definitely in stacks with Trevor Lawrence. I'm interested there. Tyreek Hill, kind of wait and see with Tyreek Hill for me. I know that he's still got Q tags. He's always got a Q tag, the wrist, all that stuff. So I kind of want to wait and see with Tyreek Hill a little bit. Mike Evans, healthy, week one. Great time to play him. Obviously, we're going to have him in some Baker stacks. I think he's standalone viable as well. McLaurin, probably way more of a stack with Jaden Daniels piece for me than anything else. Jackson's JSN, 7,200. That's a good price. That's a good price for JSN. T. Higgins here at 7,100. So if we're trying to build a big Burrow stack, it's going to be pricey with Higgins, and they are, but still doable. Probably doable. I bet we could build one. In this lineup, but we're doing here, but definitely T. Higgins, probably just a stack with Burrow piece. Yeah, you get Higgins in there, even with all the value. You can do it. Doable this week. Even this. Look how easy it is to put it together. Realistically, look how easy it is to put together. Bam, Igbuka there. Throw a defense in there. Throw the best defense in there. It doesn't even matter. And I still have so much, and I can't even spend it all if I wanted to. This is just going to be a bananas week with all this value floating around. Obviously, Trevion Henderson there is pretty extreme, but so many ways to go here. All right, continuing on through the wide receiver group, though, you can see here value is amazing. We can really build whatever kind of stacks we want in NFL Week 1. Thank you, FanDuel, for that, and thank you for the free money contest. I'm just excited to attack this thing. But going through some of these other names, Drake London, the only game in town for the Falcons. He's going to smash this week. I absolutely adore him in all formats. Adam 6900. I mean, Drake London's kind of core play for me as well. He was so amazing with Penix last season to end the season. Look at these games. Look what he did. Look at all the targets. And now you have Darnell Mooney. These were the two Penix games. 13 and 18 targets, 100 yards, 187 yards. Now it's a high-scoring game. There's no Darnell Mooney probably. We'll see. But Mooney. So really great spot for the Dreezy. Drake London. Devontae Adams also debut with the Rams. Healthy Adams, healthy Stafford, healthy everybody. I'm interested. DK Metcalf in this Jets game. You know, he's going to be somebody we're going to be watching all season long. As quote-unquote the only game in town in the Steelers passing attack. Him and Aaron Rodgers, Aaron, and DK Metcalf trying to create a Devontae Adams-like connection. We'll see how that goes. I'm skeptical of the whole thing. Garrett Wilson as well. I don't love this game environment or whatever, but 500, reasonable price for a guy who'll be peppered with target. Just a lot of really good plays here in the mid-zone. MHJ, sure, in a Kyler Murray lineup, maybe some interest. Debo might be a de facto running back for the Commanders. It's unclear what's going on over there. What I do know is they got to throw to somebody besides Terry McLaurin. So Debo could be that all-purpose Swiss Army knife. We'll see if what we saw last year was kind of like he's washed or not. But I like the price point, 6,300, and Debo plays a role that tends to score a lot of touchdowns. Again, moving on here, Jerry Jeudy. If we do build that Joe Burrow stacked lineup, Cincinnati, and we wanted to bring back Jerry Jeudy was absolutely en fuego to end the year last year. Just 18 targets. Look at these games. Jerry Jeudy had a game, 235 yards in a game, 39 points last year. He was really fantastic. The touchdowns weren't there as much last season, but now we got Flacco. We'll see. Cooper Kupp, interesting. Stephon Diggs, WR1 for his team. Somewhat interesting there as well. J-Mo Williams, really just a Goff stack piece. Olave, not so exciting. But moving down the list here, we get a whole pile of secondary value. And I pointed out some of these names earlier in the breakdown. These are kind of going to be the bread and butter plays for me this week. Now, Ridley, not my thing at Denver. Denver has elite cornerback play, and they can literally just put their focus on Ridley. I don't like that scene this week, but Travis Hunter is acceptable play. I think that every time Hunter is in the game for the Jaguars, they're going to be targeting him. They're going to have specific plays designed for him. He's so explosive. This kid can get a touchdown going from anywhere. So excited about that. And again, our double stack Trevor Lawrence lineup approach, very easy to pull off. Moving down, Ted McMillan is the name on the value list that I'd be excited to use in week one. McMillan, he's a rookie, and you kind of want to see a rookie do a little bit, but hey, there are going to be some other rookies in this list as well. So, team has to throw to him. Ted McMillan on the same team, Coker, who is probably going to be buried. 4,500. Stoneman has been named the starting slot wide receiver. Adam Thielen off this team. Jalen Coker at 4,500. Remember the name. I mentioned it here. He's more of a probably more of a DraftKings play for me, like where you need this extreme value. I don't really need that on Fanduel this week, but it's there and it's available if we want it. And then, of course, the big dogs, the all value team. So let me plug those guys in because these are going to be staples in my lineups. Play Ricky Pearsall. He's not even a rookie. He's a second-year player. He's going to get all the targets. I'm absolutely obsessed with him week one. And Emeka Egbuka down at 5K. I mean, that price is ridiculous for Egbuka in week one as well. He's basically free in this format. And look, if we plug in Pearsall and Egbuka, I can not do a triple stack or a double. I could just leave Burrow in there, chase the most expensive wide receiver on the board into this lineup, and just make a nice, simple, beautiful lineup. Let's jump to the defense real quick, and I'll show you how this lineup comes together as I'll talk through the defenses, and I'll plug one in for this line here. But at the very top of the range, Denver at home against a rookie quarterback. Can't ignore that one. Commanders at home against the quote-unquote the Giants. The Giants stink. Fine. Steelers at the Jets. Interesting. Listen, if the Jets implode, the Jets implode, and that could happen. Steelers defense. But I also really kind of like Jets defense here for closer to min salary going up against Aaron Rodgers. I'm interested in that. Rodgers completely immobile at this point. New team, slow starter, not familiar with the players. I mean, we saw it with the Jets. It's ugly. it'd be different with Steelers. The Steelers are a much better franchise than the Jets, so maybe not as bad. But I kind of think Jets defense is a really good play. Actually, start at the bottom here, and I'll point out some other value defenses that will be in my mix here in week one. Home, maybe a little bit, right? The Miami offensive line's not that great. So Colts at home, okay, maybe, but probably not. Jaguars at home against acceptable, I think, with Bryce Young kind of coming on towards the end of last year, but could revert. And, I don't know that he's good. Let's scroll up here a little bit. So Jets, they're at 36 is probably the most viable, cheap offense on the board. But I also kind of like Arizona at New Orleans with the rattlesnake starting. So if I can afford it, I can move up to 4,200 pretty comfortably. That'd be my next kind of target spot. And then, of course, moving all the way up to the Broncos. So I'm going to say my core defenses for this week, it's going to be Jets down here at 3,600, maybe a little Jaguars at 34 if I need the savings. Moving up, we'll look at the Cardinals on the road at New Orleans just because New Orleans is terrible. A little sprinkle of Miami because Danny Dimes is not very good. And then moving our way up to Steelers a little bit. And then if we want to spend up, the Broncos, right? So I plug the Jets in. I like to plug in the cheapest viable defense or close to the cheapest viable defense in these first look lineups here. And we go over to the tight end position, which once again, plenty going on here up top and just all across the salary range. But at the very top, these names are very simple. You got Brock Bowers, always going to be good every single week, no matter what. No matter where, doesn't matter. But $7K is a high price to pay. This particular week, I think that George Kittle is probably the best overall tight end play. George Kittle particularly shines when there are injuries or fewer people to throw to. They throw to Kittle more. So as long as the game's competitive and Kittle's out there, I think this could be one of those 20-plus pointers for Kittle. So I don't mind paying up a little bit on FanDuel here. Look how much salary I have left. Did I pay up? I mean, I could put Bijan in here and finish this lineup out, and it looks amazing, right? This doesn't look like I didn't give up anything, this thing. Moving down, though, we got Trey McBride, 6,300. Fine. Laporta, 59. Probably overpriced a little bit for what Laporta normally does, and I probably avoid him outside of game stacks with Goff or that kind of thing. Scrolling down, I'm really excited about a couple spots here. Evan Ingram, not this week, but I think is poised for a big year. Bo Nix, that I feel like Denver's just been looking for a tight end to throw to for years, and I think they got him. I think they've got their guy here. Kyle Pitts is interesting with the injuries. Now, I'm not a big Kyle Pitts guy, but with the injuries in the wide receiver group for Atlanta, they're going to have to probably throw to Pitts a little bit. They might use him as a wide receiver in this game, so I'm interested there. Tucker Kraft is fine in this spot as well, high-scoring spot. Zach Ertz really just a piece to mix in with his quarterback. Same with Brenton Strange. If I got a Trevor Lawrence lineup, I don't mind it. Tyler Warren kind of looks like an all-purpose weapon for the Colts, and I don't mind him at this price. And look at all this value. The value's everywhere. I probably don't need to go. I would say you probably don't need to dive any deeper. Anybody else that we look at as a tight end really is just somebody I might tie in with their quarterback. Gesicki with Burrow, Hunter Henry with Drake May if I play him. That kind of even Fields and Mason Taylor, slight interest there. But for the purpose of this line, I'm going to play George Kittle because I think Kittle is one of the best plays on the slate. And as a bonus, with Pearsall and Kittle in the same lineup, we can now swap in a very inexpensive quarterback in Brock Purdy. And look how everything changes. Look at that, 10,200 salary remaining. So from here, I can just go and say, hey, why am I playing, not the best running back, for example? So if I got Brock Purdy in there, yeah, I like Ashton Jeanty, but I like more than that? Bijan, right? And I like, whoever I had in the flex, but certainly Bucky Irving looks really good in the flex as well. So take a look at this. This will be our, I don't know what to call it, our FanDuel first look lineup here, but we got Brock Purdy in there, double stack with Pearsall and Kittle. We got Chase Brown, Bijan, Bucky Irving is our trio of running backs with Jamar Chase in there. Again, very easy to pivot and off of this approach because there's so much value in week one and switch it up. But we got Kittle, I think the best tight end on the board for week one. Got Jamar Chase in there, best QB wide receiver. But look what we do. Look, watch. Oh, you want something better? Take out Purdy. We put in we can put in a more quarterback. We can get all the way up to Jaden Daniels. The stack, it's Easy week one. The flip over to Baker Mayfield with Mike Evans in there. Once again, 8,500 left in the flex. You could do whatever you want. Jonathan Taylor there. Achane if he plays. Christian McCaffrey. Endless options on FanDuel week one, guys. Remember, number one, kickoff week ends at kickoff Thursday. Don't wait. Kickoff 2025 knocks 20% off weekly or monthly VIP here at DFS Army. Also, don't forget to max out this Millie Maker contest on FanDuel. They're giving you your money back. They never do that. That is a rare gift in the DFS world. These companies are here to take your money from you. When the money, you must accept it, or you're just swaying the odds in your favor when you're doing it for a whole season. I say if you only budget $750 on FanDuel for the entire season, max out this week one contest, put the whole amount in there, let it ride, try to go for that million, take it down, get the million, throw the bullets at it. If not, we get a whole nother round to do it next week. That's going to do it for this breakdown, everyone. I'll be back every week. FanDuel. First look, helmets up, everyone. I'll see you next time.